Please welcome Executive Vice President and President, Gas Distribution and Storage, Enbridge, Cynthia Hansen.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to begin with a few housekeeping items. Out of respect for the speakers and your fellow guests, please ensure your mics remain muted. The speaker panel will be available following remarks to answer questions, so we encourage you to submit your questions during the event. If you'd like to address a specific speaker, please highlight that person as part of your question. On behalf of Enbridge Gas and Cummins Inc, I am pleased to welcome you all here today to officially launch our hydrogen blending facility, the first of a kind in North America. With us today to celebrate this exciting accomplishment are the Honourable Todd Smith, Ontario's Minister of Energy, the Honourable David Piccini, Ontario's Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, Mayor Frank Scarpetti from the City of Markham, Billy Pang, MPP for Markham Unionville, Amy Adams, Vice President, Fuel Cell Hydrogen Technology, Cummins, colleagues, partners, and members of the media. We would also like to acknowledge that the hydrogen blending facility is located on land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. In particular, we acknowledge the ancestral traditional territories of the Anishinaabe and the Ojibwe. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this land. It was just over 1 year ago today, the Ontario Energy Board approved our application for a project to leverage Markham's power-to-gas facility to pilot the blending of clean hydrogen into Enbridge's existing natural gas system, reducing carbon emissions. With incredibly hard work, we, along with our partners and supporters, are pleased to share that the zero-carbon hydrogen blending technology is fully operational in the City of Markham, serving approximately 3,600 customers. On a municipal level, the success of this project presents an opportunity to stimulate regional economic development and support the city's goals to reduce its emissions. On a provincial level, it marks a significant step forward in developing larger scale, made in Ontario, clean energy solutions that can leverage existing natural gas infrastructure. And on a federal level, it demonstrates support for our collective national goal to reach net zero emissions by 2050. At Enbridge Gas, we are proud to be leaders in North America's energy transition. Hydrogen blending is just one example of investments that Enbridge Gas is making across multiple markets to green the natural gas grid and lower carbon emissions, while continuing to meet the demand for safe, reliable, and affordable energy. However, we could not have achieved this remarkable outcome alone. It is through collaboration and shared purpose with political leaders and industry partners that we can truly advance our collective vision for a meaningful and effective transition to a greener future. Before we hear from our esteemed speakers today, we'd like to share a short video to highlight the potential of hydrogen energy.
What if nature's most abundant element could power a clean energy future? In the global race to net zero, countries are stepping up to act on renewable hydrogen, storing renewable energy at an unprecedented scale, decarbonizing shipping, trains, and other heavy transport, and connecting energy systems for greater resilience. Here in Canada, where hydrogen production first originated, Enbridge is already leading some of the world's most groundbreaking innovations, including production of renewable hydrogen that can be blended into our 145,000-kilometer natural gas system to deliver low-carbon fuel to homes and businesses. In Markham, Ontario, we're producing renewable hydrogen at North America's first power-to-gas facility. The facility can effectively store 170 kilograms of hydrogen, or more than 8 megawatt-hours of energy, in a space about the size of a shipping container. Just a 0.5% blend can divert as much as 50,000 metric tons of CO2 from our natural gas system. In Quebec, Enbridge is collaborating with partners to build one of Canada's largest hydrogen production plants, producing 3.1 million tons of renewable hydrogen that has the potential to be seamlessly blended into Canada's natural gas network. The project will create local jobs and displace about 15,000 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions. That's like taking 3,200 cars off the road for a year. Hydrogen is a part of Canada's past, and renewable hydrogen is the key to its clean energy future. Accelerating solutions in the race against climate change and laying the groundwork for a clean, sustainable, abundant energy economy right here at home. Discover the potential of renewable hydrogen at enbridgegas.com/hydrogen.
First, I'm pleased to share a video with remarks from the Honorable Jonathan Wilkinson, Federal Minister of Natural Resources.
Hello everyone, I am Jonathan Wilkinson, Canada's Minister of Natural Resources. I am joining you from beautiful North Vancouver, which is located on the traditional ancestral territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you today. I am certainly pleased to offer my congratulations to both Enbridge and Cummins, as well as to the City of Markham for undertaking this important project. As some of you may know, I spent almost 20 years as an executive in the clean technology space. For almost half of that time, I was running a company involved in existing and emerging applications of hydrogen. This is an area that I have a great deal of personal interest in, and I know at least a little bit about the challenges and the opportunities that are possible through hydrogen technology. I am also very much aware of how involved Enbridge has been in innovating and investing in sustainable technologies, having made its first wind farm investment, I believe, back in 2002, and having even prior to that been involved with high temperature fuel cell technologies. I am also very much aware of the leading role that Cummins, which started out as Hydrogenics and Stewart Energy, has played in the evolution of hydrogen technologies here in Canada and around the world. This pilot project is an excellent example of the kind of work that can be done to lower the carbon intensity of our energy supply. This is the first utility-scale hydrogen blending project of its kind in North America, and I am hopeful that it will lead to similar larger-scale initiatives across this country. Just over a year ago, Natural Resources Canada published the Hydrogen Strategy, which sets out an ambitious call to action to make Canada a top 3 producer of low and zero carbon hydrogen. Unlocking the potential of hydrogen is an essential part of Canada's plan for a sustainable economic future, one where we drive down emissions in hard-to-abate sectors while creating good green jobs, encouraging Indigenous partnerships, attracting foreign investment, developing new technologies and services, and laying the foundation for the achievement of net zero. Just this past Tuesday, I spoke with members of the Strategic Steering Committee for Canada's Hydrogen Strategy about how we must continue to work together to advance and accelerate solutions for decarbonizing key sectors of the economy. It is becoming clearer every day that going forward, a sustainable economy and a prosperous economy are one and the same. What we have to do as a country is figure out how we can take advantage of the market opportunities that the clean economy presents and make sure that Canada becomes a leader in sustainable natural resources for years and decades to come. One of those opportunities is hydrogen. Your project is a proof point of a pathway through which at-scale adoption of hydrogen and hydrogen technology can be deployed in a manner that will address climate change and concurrently create good jobs and economic opportunity. Congratulations once again. I very much look forward to following the progress of this project.
Thanks to Minister Wilkinson. Now, please welcome the Honorable Todd Smith, Ontario's Minister of Energy.
Well, thanks very much, Cynthia, and it's great to join you virtually here today, along with my colleagues, Minister Piccini. Great to see David, and Markham Unionville MPP Billy Pang. Billy, great to see you, and of course, His Worship Mayor Scarpetti is going to join us as well, and representatives from Enbridge and Cummins, Cynthia and Amy. And I also want to recognize and thank Minister Wilkinson. I know the two of us were talking prior to Christmas about this exciting project, and we both had plans to be there in person with many of you to celebrate this accomplishment that's being celebrated today, but unfortunately with the restrictions that are in place, we're unable to be there in person. But great to be here virtually with all of you. And as Ontario's Minister of Energy, I'd really like to offer those congratulations to Enbridge and Cummins on the launch of this innovative hydrogen blending project, the first of its kind, as Minister Wilkin just mentioned, in North America. And Ontario is leading the way. I think that's important to note. I also want to thank you for your valuable input as members of our government's hydrogen strategy working group. Both Enbridge and Cummins are members of that working group. I'm really excited to see that this innovative low carbon hydrogen project is fully operational. It's great news for families and businesses in the Markham area. Low carbon hydrogen has the potential to play a really important role supporting Ontario's reliable, clean, and sustainable energy future. It's a game changer for industry, the environment, and for the people of Ontario. The Power to Gas pilot in Markham is going to demonstrate firsthand how low carbon hydrogen can be blended with natural gas to heat our homes and businesses while making Ontario's reliable natural gas supply that much cleaner. 3,600 customers in Markham are going to benefit from this pilot. These are your neighbors, there are families in Ontario, and they're small businesses that are operating in the Markham area. Ontario already has one of the cleanest energy grids in the world. 94% of our power comes from non-emitting sources. Hydrogen blending technology has the potential to further reduce this footprint and enhance our clean grid. In terms of jobs, the hydrogen economy is expected to create as many as 350,000 jobs across the country in the coming decades. Ontario's already ready to do our part so we can attract more good-paying jobs in science, technology, engineering, and the skilled trades. Again, I want to applaud Enbridge Gas and Cummins on this innovative partnership, which is leading the way for similar projects in other Ontario locations. Ontario is ready to harness hydrogen as a valuable energy option for both its environmental benefits and its potential to drive job creation and economic growth. We're committed, and I know the Premier is really excited about this, to work with business, industry, and the public on a range of potential applications that are going to help fuel a clean and reliable and affordable energy future for our province and for our country. So thanks. I'd like to turn the floor back to Cynthia to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Minister Smith. Now, please welcome the Honourable David Piccini, Ontario's Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. It's an honor to be with all of you here today. Thank you, Minister Wilkinson, Minister Smith, and of course, my colleague, MPP Billy Pang, Mayor Scarpetti, and all of the speakers today. Honored to be with you. We know that climate change is a generational issue, and now more than ever, we need new solutions to the environmental challenges, the very real challenges we face today. But we know as government, as Minister Smith very eloquently said, we can't do this alone, rather working together in partnership. I welcome Enbridge's commitment to net zero and the important work that you're doing among a myriad of other partners to achieve this objective. Unfortunately, in Ontario, we have a world-leading asset that can help us address these challenges, and that's, of course, our clean energy industry. My hat goes off to Enbridge, Cummins, and your partners for bringing to life this fully operational hydrogen blending initiative. As the first project of its kind, this pilot represents the new era for hydrogen blending in our province. There is tremendous potential for low carbon hydrogen to fuel a cleaner, greener Ontario. And the Power to Gas pilot in Markham is a milestone in our realization of this as a fuel source to be used in place of fossil fuels to heat our homes and power our truck fleets and industry. Enbridge and Cummins, we know, are showing the kind of leadership and innovation we need from the private sector. From heating homes to the transportation sector, Ontario is a diverse province, and there's not going to be just one solution to decarbonizing it. In fact, I heard this from Amy, who echoed this sentiment in Glasgow at the recent COP conference. Our government knows that unleashing your innovation is critical to creating a greener and more prosperous future for Ontario, for our next generation, and for everybody today. And now is the time for hydrogen to play a bigger role in that work. This excitement about hydrogen that I saw firsthand at the United Nations Climate Conference last fall in Glasgow reinforced to me that we're on the right track in our efforts to develop the hydrogen strategy Minister Smith spoke about and the important work that all of you are doing. It will complement other measures that this province is taking under Premier Ford's leadership to combat greenhouse gas emissions by 30% below our 2005 levels by 2030. Including moving steel makers off coal power, introducing a new emissions performance standards program, which went into effect in January. And of course, we were the first province in Canada to introduce cleaner transportation fuels regulation, which are making the gas drivers use each and every day cleaner. And of course, you all are on the forefront of this exciting initiative with hydrogen. It's coming together, and I want to thank all of you and to commend Enbridge and Cummins on moving low carbon hydrogen forward in this province. You are proof that reducing greenhouse gas emissions can mean creating jobs and building prosperity for families and businesses right here in the province of Ontario. Thank you and congratulations. And I believe I'll be turning it over now to the dynamic and great Mayor Scarpetti.
Well, thank you, Minister Piccini, and please welcome Mayor Frank Scarpetti of the City of Markham.
Well, thank you very much, Cynthia, and I do want to welcome everyone to the City of Markham, even though we're doing it virtually. Would have loved to have done it in person, but you know, this is the next best thing. So I welcome everyone. I want to thank Minister Wilkinson for really setting the stage about how important these initiatives are, and to also welcome our provincial ministers. They're no strangers to the City of Markham. Minister Smith, thanks to you in your previous role as Minister of Community Services. You were very supportive of some urgent needs in our community at the beginning of the pandemic, and I saw your commitment. Minister Piccini, when you were parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Colleges and University, you were very critical in the government moving forward to support the new campus for York University in the City of Markham. So we're glad to have our provincial ministers here as well. And of course, MPP Billy Pang, who continues to advocate for Markham Unionville at Queen's Park. I too want to say a big congratulations to Enbridge and to Cummins, and to also say that as previous speakers have said, it is about partnership. It's not about any one organization. It's about organizations and associations and communities and businesses all coming together to address climate change. So obviously hats off to Enbridge and to Cummins, but I also want to say thank you for the great support from the Sustainable Development Technology Canada, great association, the Canadian Gas Association, and NGIF Capital Corporation for their support of this incredible initiative. And fair to say that I don't think you could have picked a better municipality in all of Ontario, in fact, in all of Canada, to have this initiative. And I really say congratulations to everyone involved. It is the first of its kind in all of North America. You're putting Markham on the map. And I have to say, and I won't list them all, this initiative joins an already long list of initiatives here in the City of Markham. We're proud to have one of the largest rooftop solar portfolios in the whole province of Canada, province of Ontario. We have an award-winning district energy system that provides heating and cooling to growth areas in our community. And I'm very proud to say that we're developing the largest LEED community in all of North America as well. And all of these initiatives have contributed to the fact that, and this is something that we get from the World Data Council, the City of Markham actually has one of the lowest greenhouse gases per capita in all of Canada, and we fare quite well, in fact, with many international cities. And so all our collective efforts are making a difference in this community. And this particular initiative really does contribute to our goal that is at the center of our sustainability plan, which we call Greenprint here in the city of Markham, to reach net zero by 2050. Now, I have to say that this initiative here really does offset in a major way the greenhouse gases in the city of Markham. I was pleased to be there in 2018 when you launched the power to gas facility that currently exists at the site, and it was a great major first step, one that was done with financial support from the federal government. And since that time, that facility in the city of Markham has helped the province of Ontario really balance the demand and supply of electricity. And I think that bodes well, because not only do we need innovation, but we also have to make sure that we're utilizing to the maximum extent possible the infrastructure that is in place today. So I couldn't be happier that 3,600 homes, customers here in Markham, will be served by this facility. And more importantly, not only is that an impressive number, but it will abate 117 tons of carbon monoxide in our atmosphere. And I can tell you, and I know this because of all the initiatives that we've introduced in the city of Markham, our residents, our businesses, they hunger. They hunger for the technology and the innovation that enables them to contribute to a greener world. So obviously, I wish you tremendous success, Enbridge and Cummins, with this initiative. It really allows the opportunity to expand this technology, hopefully here first in the city of Markham, but to many communities in Ontario and across Canada. So really the work that you're doing here in the city of Markham has tremendous impact throughout Ontario and indeed all of Canada. So in closing, I just want to say Enbridge has been an incredible partner for us here in the city of Markham. We are working on another pilot project, Powerhouse, which allows us the ability to reduce energy in people's homes, the opportunity to store energy in people's homes, and we'll be celebrating that initiative in the spring. I just want to say that truly you're to be congratulated. You know, we can no longer sit on our hands to deal and to mitigate the impacts of climate change. The time is now. The call to action is here, and you've responded. And aside from reaching our goal of net zero by 2050, I will say this, that we in the city of Markham aim to be the greenest, if not one of the greenest communities in all of North America. And I know that this initiative will contribute to that goal. And I applaud the levels of government, the associations, and in particular, Enbridge and Cummins for this partnership in making this innovation happen. Congratulations, one and all.
Thank you, Mayor Scarpetti. Please welcome Billy Pang, MPP, Markham Unionville.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Cynthia, for the introduction. It's great to join you and Amy today for this important announcement. I'd also like to recognize Minister Smith, Minister Piccini, and Mayor Scarpetti for your continued leadership. I'd like to let my congratulations to Enbridge and Cummins on your partnership. I'm eager to see your continued progress in the area of hydrogen blending. Thank you for making Markham your location for this innovative pilot project. 3,600, that's the number of customers who will benefit from this low-carbon hydrogen project. This means that 3,600 families and businesses right here in Markham will continue to have reliable energy with lower carbon emissions. Markham is growing and vibrant community. We are at the center of the second largest tech cluster in Canada. We are a destination of arts and culture, particularly in my riding of Markham Unionville. And now we are making our mark on the energy sector. The power-to-gas facility is the first of its kind utility-scaled facility, not just in Ontario, but in all of North America. We are putting Markham on the map. With today's announcement, our provincial government is fulfilling our commitment to reduce carbon emissions. Hydrogen blending of our natural gas supplies also bring us one step closer to meet the City of Markham's municipal energy plan, targeting net zero emissions by 2050. Congratulations again to Enbridge and Cummins on your announcement today. Let's keep Ontario at the forefront of innovation and the environment. Thank you. And I pass the floor back to Cynthia.
Thank you, MPP Pang. And to wrap up our esteemed speaker lineup, we'll hear from Amy Adams, Vice President of Cummins Fuel Cell and Hydrogen Technologies. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you to all of our fellow speakers. I think the danger with going last is that you could be repetitive. So I will keep my remarks short. But I do want to say that to all of you, your support is very much appreciated. And as Mayor Scarpetti said, it is all about partnerships. I am excited. I lead the fuel cell and hydrogen technologies business for Cummins, and I'm really excited to be at this event today. And like others, I was looking forward to it to being in person, but I think virtual is the next best thing. And I'm really glad to be celebrating the Markham Power to Gas facility, which has been noted a number of times is the first of its kind in North America. But that's a big deal. I don't know about you, but for me, it's really exciting to be part of first. So many of you, if you know Cummins, you're likely to know us more as an over 100-year-old diesel engine company. But what you may not realize is we're channeling our long legacy of innovation into the race to net zero, greening our technologies and pioneering new solutions to dramatically reduce carbon emissions. This project in particular is an exciting milestone for us as we bring cleaner energy directly into residents' homes. And we're proud to utilize our hydrogen-producing electrolyzer technology at this facility to support Ontario's climate goals and directly impact end consumers in a big way. We see projects like this as critical stepping stones in the global energy transition. They illustrate that tangible strides are being made to decarbonize industries and to drive the green hydrogen economy forward. This hydrogen blending facility is helping pave the way for large-scale adoption of alternative power solutions in Canada and beyond. I want to offer my sincere congratulations to Enbridge Gas and again to Cynthia and all of this project's partners and supporters on achieving this milestone. And I'm really grateful for the part that Cummins has been able to play in it. I look forward to seeing its impact for decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. It has certainly been an incredible journey. Thank you to our valued speakers and guests for joining us today to mark this extraordinary milestone. We look forward to continuing our work with the federal, provincial, and municipal governments and leading edge companies like Cummins to advance hydrogen blending technologies as part of our transition to a cleaner energy future. Now, if all the speakers could join me on screen, we will proceed to the question and answer portion of the event, which will be moderated by Leanne McNaughton, a member of our Enbridge External Communications team. Thank you and welcome, Leanne.
Thanks, Cynthia. Our first question is addressed to Honourable Todd Smith. Minister Smith, can you share any signals on Ontario's forthcoming hydrogen strategy? And is there potential for hydrogen blending like this Markham project to play a part?
Thanks very much, Leanne. Yeah, and I just want to again thank Enbridge and Cummins for their participation in our hydrogen strategy working group that we've had assembled for quite some time now. We know that they've been working hard on our pilot projects and our strategy, and we know that by working hand in hand with the private sector, we can really ensure that Ontario's incredible clean technology sector continues to innovate and help to grow our economy and create create jobs and reduce emissions. And that's why we're working with our partners in the private sector, as well as Ontario's world-class academia, to develop Ontario's first low-carbon hydrogen strategy. We know the clean tech sector is critical to our work to provide sources of fuel and home heating to Ontarians, and at the same time reducing emissions and helping to meet our climate targets. And by putting their expertise, your expertise really, to work in the development of this strategy, we're going to be able to outline a framework for further developing Ontario's hydrogen economy so we can attract that new investment and expand the use of this clean fuel for families and businesses and create jobs right here in Ontario. So thanks again to Enbridge, thanks to Cummins for the work that you've done in making sure that we're moving forward on this hydrogen strategy working group and developing Ontario's hydrogen strategy.
Thanks, Minister. Our next question is addressed to Amy Adams of Cummins. What role do you see hydrogen playing in global decarbonization and the transition to net zero?
Yes, thanks for that question. We believe multiple technologies are going to be required to decarbonize the economy, and hydrogen has to play a critical role. Hydrogen has a lot of properties that make it a good renewable energy source, and for a variety of industries and applications. And really, where it's getting a lot of attention now is particularly with those hard to decarbonize sectors. So if you talk about the transportation sectors, things like rail and marine and heavy duty trucking, but then the other industrial sectors like steel and ammonia and fertilizing, as well as storage applications. So I think those are areas where we're going to see hydrogen play a big role in decarbonizing. And the infrastructure is developing around those systems to enable this broad decarbonization, where once it seemed, very difficult, I think now, people can see the potential and the possibility.
Thank you, Amy. Our next question is received, and it is for Cynthia Hansen. What percentage of hydrogen will the blend contain?
Thanks, Leanne. So right now, the blend is 2%. So that's something that we're testing on the pilot basis for the 3,600 homes. And as we continue to look at that, we can have the opportunity to expand to more homes or potentially increase that blend.
And a follow-up question, Cynthia. When will the pilot project end?
So the commitment that we made is that the pilot project will run for a period of 5 years under the existing approval from the Ontario Energy Board, but there is no end. So it's not that this project will end, it's that we'll continue to gain information and look at how we can further leverage that across our existing energy system.
Great, thank you. The next question is for Amy. What is the largest and or smallest size of Cummins electrolysis units?
Well, actually, our largest deployed electrolyzer is actually in Bécancour, Canada. It's 20 megawatt, and we commissioned that at the end of last year. We have large-scale product under development, and it's interesting in this now. We're talking with many customers, both in Canada and beyond, of larger scale projects. It was 20 megawatt was a milestone. Now we're talking about 100 megawatt, 200 megawatt and beyond. People are even talking about gigawatt projects, which maybe is a step next, a little step, maybe an interim step between that, but that's the size and scale that we're looking at now.
Thank you. Our next question is addressed for Mayor Frank Scarpetti. How will this initiative help reduce Markham carbon's footprint and bring the city closer to this goal of net zero emissions?
First of all, I want to say I'm happy with all the answers I've heard so far. Minister Smith saying how important hydrogen is for the future of the province, and Cynthia, her commitment to not talk about the end, but the expansion of this innovation, and Amy about, I'll tell you, as a municipal representative, we're looking at hydrogen for potentially our bus system and other applications. So it's great potential there. And as I said, even though Markham enjoys one of the lowest greenhouse gases emissions per capita, there's about 44% of our greenhouse gases are attributed to natural gas heating and hot water tanks. So anything that reduces the greenhouse emissions utilizing this technology really does contribute to our goal of being net zero by 2050. So really happy with the answers that I've heard, and I really do look forward to this technology being expanded to our entire city, and again, hopefully to other communities as well.
Thank you, Mayor. We have another question for Cynthia Hansen. Why is Enbridge Gas pursuing hydrogen blending?
Thanks again, Leanne. So as you've heard, there is this incredible opportunity for hydrogen to play a greater role in the lower carbon sustainable energy solutions. And of course, when you produce clean energy using electrolysis, hydrogen has that additional benefit of being made in Ontario and that clean energy solution. And we can use our existing pipeline infrastructure. And hydrogen blending is just one example of the investments that Enbridge is making across multiple markets to green up our natural gas grid and lower carbon emissions overall, while still meeting that continued demand for safe, reliable, and affordable energy. So in addition to these type of investments, we are, as was mentioned, participating in the Canadian hydrogen strategy, in Ontario's hydrogen strategy. We're looking at how we can work to build out that national framework with policies and funding to really ensure that the hydrogen economy takes off across all provinces and territories.
Great answer, Cynthia. To anyone on the panel, Australia is currently distributing blends much higher than 2%. Can you share short-term and long-term blending goals?
Well, there seems to be silence, Leanne, so I will step into that silence. So, you know, our goals as we look forward is to continue to learn about how we can safely introduce more blending. So we have parts of our existing energy infrastructure that can accommodate a higher percentage. We have a study on now for part of our Gatineau-Gazet-Fer system where we're looking at a 15% blend. And there will be opportunities as that hydrogen infrastructure gets built out to build potentially even new infrastructure that could take 100% blend. So it's going to be specific as we look at what that path forward is. I wouldn't say at any point that there is a specific target. I know through the Canadian Gas Association, we think that across Canada, it would be realistic to look at that kind of 10% blend in the next kind of 20 to 25 years. It's going to vary based on that infrastructure, but the key is to start and really leverage two things: the existing infrastructure, as we've noted, and then, as Amy mentioned, how do we support the industries that are harder to decarbonize with an opportunity such as hydrogen?
I would just add as well, Leanne, just building on what Cynthia said about infrastructure, and I think all levels of government have an important role to play in linking arms in that infrastructure discussion, working with private sector. But anyone who I think doubts Ontario's commitments to blends and targets, need look no further than the clean transportation fuels reg I mentioned in my remarks. And I think so from a provincial standpoint in Ontario, we're always willing to look at any solution. We've led the way with that regulation, a first of its kind in Canada, and certainly commend and are always working with the private sector. I know Minister Wilkinson mentioned the strategy that they're working on federally, which complements nicely our working group that just wrapped up and has made recommendations to government. Both Minister Smith and I are working closely with that. And again, just to add to comments about that infrastructure that Cynthia already made. Thanks.
Thanks everyone for your great answers to the questions. This wraps up our Q&A panel. But if there are any questions that were not answered, please reach out to me at enbridgegasmedia@enbridge.com, and I will field those questions appropriately. Over to you, Cynthia.
Well, thank you very much, Leanne. And I just want to thank everyone again for attending this event, and please enjoy the rest of your day.